Democrat bitten by crime, consistently talking about how bad an idea that defunding the police was. Congressman Henry Cuellar, on the very moment he was carjacked at gunpoint by 3 people wearing masks near the Capitol on Monday night. Police have not made any arrests yet. Yesterday on Focus, Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez told me this. Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser responding to Cuellar's carjacking with this. Although we are seeing some positive trends in recent crime statistics, we are troubled when any individual is in a situation that makes them feel unsafe in our city. He was at gunpoint. It was more about actually getting hit than feeling unsafe. What is she even talking about? But the numbers simply don't lie. So far this year, homicides are up by 38%. Robberies also up significantly. Motor vehicle theft is up a staggering 106%. Overall crime has surged by 25%. Our own Peter Doocy pressing the White House spokesperson.
How are you going to blame Republicans for this? Isn't D.C. run by a bunch of Democrats?
The president has been very, very straightforward about what he has done to make sure that communities are safe.
So if President Biden's policies are helping bring crime down, would he be comfortable with somebody borrowing his Corvette and parking it on the street overnight in Southeast D.C.?
I'm not going to get into hypotheticals.
This picture from the summer of 2020 speaks volumes about the crime crisis there. You may remember activists painted "Defund the Police" on city streets near a Black Lives Matter sign. Look at the size of that. Let's bring in GOPAC Chairman David Avella, Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall. It is great to see you both. Look, this is a dangerous issue to get wrong. So when you hear a mayor like Muriel Bowser sounding like early Eric Adams, a perception of crime, feeling unsafe, what's your response, David?
The chairman of Protecting Americans Project, Jason Miyares, who's also the Attorney General of Virginia, makes the point that it's all these bad crime ideas that were tried in the 1970s. Everything from no cash bail to reducing sentences to not fully funding police forces to not actually putting criminals behind jail. We tried this all in the 1970s. And now we're seeing the reality of what happens when you pursue these policies. You even now have in LA County cities that are pushing back against the county on their no cash bail policies. The only way we're going to be able to not raise the number of criminals on the street and lower the number of victims in this country is you have to actually put criminals in jail, and you have to give police the resources to be able to do that.
So a little insight now into why D.C.'s crime crisis may be spiraling out of control. For all the issues that you mentioned, we'll throw in this. According to a report by the U.S. Attorney's Office that tries both federal and local cases in our nation's capital, 67% of those arrested were not prosecuted in 2022, including 52% of felony arrests, 72% of misdemeanors. Leslie, how do you win the war on crime when you put down all your weapons?
Well, I'm very conservative on crime, at least people in my party would say, and I am with the top Democrats and most Democratic voters who thought defund the police was not only a very bad slogan politically, but a very bad idea. However, it's not just about money and writing checks, and we see that because in 2020, D.C. did vote to defund the police, and they had violent crime, homicides, property crimes decrease for 2 years. But in August, we saw a huge uptick this summer, and we see that that has reversed. So you are correct about the mayor not being accurate and up to date with her numbers. But it's more than just police and after the fact, because even if you have more police on the street, you have to have things that address preventative measures, whether it's education, direct correlation between lack of education and crime, whether it's housing costs, whether it's jobs, the list goes on. This is not just about writing a check. And David, and he knows this, another problem on the other end is even if you arrest all these people, there just is not the resource, there's not the space, there's not the time to prosecute all of these people.
You know what? Then you ought to go for that and see how true that is. Let's arrest all the people that are suspects and see if the DAs can toughen their spines to put some of them behind bars. It will make a difference. You can't get 100% of anything, but you can be 100% wrong, and that endangers people. David.
You can see it in this theft happening in stores across the country. When people know there are no consequences, you're going to see more of it. And not only who you're really hurting are the employees that work in those stores when they get shut down, that they lose their job because the company decides they don't want to continue to have all their products stolen so they can't be there for their customers. This is absurd to somehow not say that the criminals are at fault here and that somehow that it's these sentences that Leslie's party and the prosecutors who won't enforce the law continue to put on Americans. It is their policies that say let's not fully give people sentences and put them in jail when they do wrong. It is absurd to sit here and say it's simply a resource problem. It is the laws her party are putting in place that are causing these issues.
Yeah, I mean, Leslie, you hit the nail on the head. It is more than money, but it can't be anybody's fault except for the criminals that, you know, they go out and commit crimes because they don't like their housing situation. I don't like it for many people in this country. But not everybody who's poor commits crime. So I don't know that particular example is really relevant in this. I mean, the why can't be the excuse for hurting other people. All right, good to see you both.
I agree with you 100%. The criminals are, you know, absolutely to blame. But the reality, and David would know this better than me with his legal background, is if you arrest somebody and you prosecute them, but you don't have room to put them in a prison.
I think we're willing to take that chance. We're making room for 7 to 8 million people coming across the border. We have some place we can put those people in our society that want to kill us. We can adjudicate those cases and find places for them. We can, because obviously we got a lot of room. All right, I got to run. Good to see you both. Thank you.